Welcome to the 650 kilometer video review update of the Gotway RS High Speed, or HS. If you haven't seen our other videos, then you need to go back, see the unboxing and range test and the 250 kilometer review update. Now, I've just got back and I've done over 650 kilometers now. This thing has performed brilliantly. It's been amazing. It has been really good fun to ride. Really enjoyable. The way to best summarize it, really, it's like a little mini Sherman, even though it's not that small in comparison to a Sherman. It is the veteran Sherman. If you haven't seen the video reviews, go and check them out. It's like that. It's just a little bit more agile. So you lose a bit of the road comfort because it's lighter than the Sherman. So you end up, the Sherman's really well planted and it's solid. It's such a big, fat, heavy thing that it sits on the road. It's got a much thicker off-road tyre. This is much quieter on the road. It's all whizzes by, you wouldn't even know it's there kind of thing. It's a brilliant little machine. So it's a bit more responsive. I haven't had any issues with the lower foot plates. So these are lower than the M Super Pro. They are actually going to bring out foot plate pillars, which you can hire them up. So you can buy it like this and you can hire it up. And I think they're going to slowly just start putting the higher ones. And if you want to lower it, you can lower it, but whatever. You will be able to have those as a bit of an upgrade addition, whatever you want to do really. For me, that hasn't been an issue. You can see this thing is absolutely caked. It is not like I've treated it to 100% lovely roads without having to head off-road. I have taken this thing all over the place. Foot plates haven't really bothered me at all being lower. They are lower though, so it's worth noting, which for road handling gives you some lovely road handling, unless you're one of those people that goes flat out, slams the brakes on, tries to turn solid right, then obviously you're going to be scraping your foot plates a lot more. But if you're riding it like a normal commuter would do, I've had no issues at all riding it. I haven't even touched the tarmac with them. I've hit a couple of things off-road, but that's not unusual. You should see the trails that we ride in around the Forest of Dean. They are a bit mental and probably not the sort of trails you're going to be going on in your daily commute. So it has performed, as I say, absolutely amazingly. It's incredibly powerful and quick. This wheel, yeah, is a bit of a powerhouse, if I'm honest. So from that point of view, thumbs up. The lights, absolutely epic. So the two front lights, incredibly bright. When you come to a standstill, they dim down, so you don't blind people at junctions, which is quite a neat little feature. Other wheels have got that as well. It's not unique to this wheel. But the dipping down of the lights, spot on, like that. These front lights, I don't usually run them in rainbows, it has to be said. I actually run them with white at the front, solid white at the front, red at the back, and then I run them like that. I've been turning the headlight on and off with the app, so I load it up at night and in daytime if I've had the light on the night before. Because remember, in my previous videos I mentioned it actually remembers your light setting, and if you press that button to turn the light off, it puts them to rainbows, and you have to cycle all through the LEDs to get to the ones you want again, each and every time you turn the light on and off. So I've been using the app to turn the light on and off. Just saves me having to cycle through each time. I've made full use of getting up to 650 kilometers of the dual charge ports. They have been spot on. If you don't have the charger switched on before you plug them in, you'll get an arcing effect, so spark, you'll hear it on there. So turn them on before you plug it in. You turn it on, plug it in, don't get that. I have fitted the MSX mudguard because that was all that was available to me at the time. This is not quite big enough, so the RS is slightly different body than the M Super Pro or MSX. So really this mudguard's a little bit too small. We have got RS mudguards on the website, so if you want an RS mudguard, if you've got an RS and you want a mudguard for it, don't buy the MSX one and screw it in like I've done. Buy the RS mudguard. It's got more coverage than this little rubber one. So do that. If you've got M Super Pro, MSX, etc., buy the rubber one. We got loads of them in. I think we bought 100 of each in. So we got 100 RS, 100 MSX mudguards. Power button, fine. Mudguard, meh, definitely needs one. Definitely needs a mudguard. This thing is caked. I'm not so badly caked, but I'm still getting covered with this slightly smaller mudguard on. Side pads, they're not really padding as such, more grip to allow you to press in and get that torque out of the machine. So that's been spot on. I've been through all sorts of weather with this thing, tipping down, rain, everything. No wheel, apart from probably the V11, is recommended, even the V11, is recommended to ride in rain. So just bear that in mind, just because I've done it, doesn't mean you should. You do run the risk of having issues with your wheel, especially with power buttons and things like that. If they've got water sat on top of them and you press them in, and that water rolls off and goes into the connection, It doesn't usually short. What it does usually do, well, I suppose it is a short as such. It just stays on. It's permanently on, so it creates a circuit and it just stays on, so you can't turn it off. I've not had that with this. I am just saying that is a possibility if you ride in the rain. I've had no water go in underneath this rubber cover. I've always made sure it's on properly, and it's pretty easy to do. Occasionally it can be a bit fiddly to put it back in, but 9 times out of 10, it's absolutely fine. Nothing rattling, nothing shaking, nothing like that at all. It's just been spot on. As I say, it's almost as enjoyable to ride as the Sherman in that respect. So it's just a bit more nimble, and obviously it's a bit lighter. There's some things you get, like the range from the Sherman, which trump this one for me. I can go easily 60 miles on the Sherman, that's not a problem. Whereas with this, obviously it's a lot less. Go and see it in our range test video. So yeah, the rear light's nice and bright at night, spot on. And I love that fact you can have like your day running lights on the front. So white and then red, that looks just really sweet. And the smoothness of those lights are really, really nice. So this thing has performed spot on. I've got no issues with it at all. Done over 650 kilometers now, and I'm going to come back to you on the 1,000 kilometer review and just see how it's all gone. But at this point in time, no issues whatsoever. The foot plates, I've had them covered in mud and they've still been grippy. Mud and trainers. So they've still been grippy, even though when they were covered in mud. So from that point of view, they've been all right. Yeah, what else can I say? If you've got any questions, then comment below and I can try and help you answer them. But so far, the high speed, when I go and do the high torque or torque version, I can't see what more you're going to want out of a wheel. This does it all. This is an amazing wheel, put it that way. And so far, 0 faults. There's been reports of bearing noises and stuff like that, but well, as you've seen in the video, I've taken this all sorts of places and no such noises so far. And we're quite a way in now, so we're probably clocking on for 700 kilometers in. No issues so far. So if there is, I will be sure, obviously, to report them back. We're always open and honest with the wheels. I would like this gap here to be finished off a bit nicer. That's probably my criticism so far. So mudguard, that gap there. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting mud splatter. I've been doing a lot of commuting on this and a lot of riding all over the place, really. I'm getting mud splatter across the front here, but what can you do about that? Not a lot, really. Some of it's from other cars, so in traffic and stuff like that, following cars, they hit puddles and stuff, and it sprays over you. This thing, you can run with the traffic, no problems at all. So from that point of view, you're not going to have any fears or worries with that. And the dual charging has been spot on. So I've actually been running this with a 5 amp and a 3 amp when I want to try and stack the miles on. Not recommended to do that every time. Fast charging batteries, we all know, not ideal. So try and cycle it. So you've got to have, ideally, a lot more slow charging than you have fast charging. So, but it comes with a 3 amp charger, so you're not going to be straining it at all. But if you've, like me, you've got a Sherman as well, I plugged the 5 amp in and the 3 amp, which I did today. I've literally just come in from finishing that ride off to get it over the 650 mark. And it's been pretty epic, but it is freezing outside. Winter has truly come. So any questions, comment below and I'll try and help you out. Go and check them out on speedyfeet.co.uk. Go and get them from there, 2-year warranty. You get discount off parts as well if you buy through us. You kind of have to manually request that because it's a bit of a complex thing. So anything that's standard on your wheel comes as standard, then you get 50% off those parts. So go and check that out. But so far, so good. I'll see you on the next one. 1,000 kilometers I've got to get up. I might clean it, or should I clean it? No, I'm not going to clean it. I'm going to leave it. And if you want to clean your wheel, go and check out the Rhino Shine on speedyfeet.co.uk. It comes out lovely. And check out the Kali helmets and the gloves. See you next time.